Okay, so we are here with James from Polkadot. James, I'm going to give you the mic. It's just going to be easier that way.
All right.
If you could give me this when I'm asking the questions, hand it over to you when you're ready to go, and we'll talk a little bit. So I want to talk a little bit about brand vision. Polkadot is obviously well known in the Web3 space. So how would you describe what sets Polkadot apart from other blockchain projects, especially from the marketing perspective?
So I think Polkadot has a really interesting approach because we embrace the ethos of Web3 and we really rely on sort of the vibes and what that means. And we really embody that in everything that we do. And I think from a marketing perspective, we have extremely strong tech. And I think the world knows that. But before we get into the tech conversation, you have to have a strong marketing message to draw that user in. And I think we've had some success with the proper branding in the marketplace to bring those, to raise awareness.
Big time, absolutely. So my favorite one on community. So Polkadot has a very passionate community. How do you make sure that they feel heard and involved with the brand and with the storytelling approach of what Polkadot's doing?
So I'm extremely biased on this particular question because my role within the ecosystem is I am a senior ambassador with Polkadot based in Miami, Florida. I've been with the ambassador program for 4+ years now, and I've watched it grow and evolve over time. And without our community, we would be absolutely nothing. We have a really, really special community. I'm really proud to be part of something that we've built, and I really enjoy just engaging with our community. And we have unlimited opportunities for community members to speak and raise their voice and be heard and contribute. As you know, we are the world's largest DAO, and with 1.4 million members around the world, every single decision about Polkadot is made by the community.
Yeah, big time. You guys are doing it right. This is another good one. I'm sure you're going to enjoy sharing this. Can you share, obviously, maybe one of your favorite marketing moments or a campaign at your time at Polkadot, and really what made it special?
So I wouldn't say this is a formal marketing campaign per se, but I think one thing that we did really, really interestingly just a few months ago was a project internally, we called it the Spamming. And it was a project to measure the transaction speed on the Polkadot network. And again, the idea was pitched to the community through our internal governance platform. The community voted, yes, let's do this. And so we pummeled our canary network called Kusama with a gazillion transactions in order to measure how many transactions we can measure. And it's not on this panel, it's on another panel, but we're approaching, 600,000 transactions per second or some crazy number. Definitely. If we use the full speed of the core. And so I think that was a marketing campaign that not only the community bought off on, but produced an incredibly value metric in the marketplace that we can now go out to the world and say, yes, we're an incredibly fast network that can do lots of everything that we say.
Talking about fast and how quick Web3 and crypto moves, how do you, from the Polkadot perspective, use obviously marketing content in terms of keeping it fresh and relevant and exciting and interesting and up to the speed that crypto moves at?
So again, the answer is our community, and funding from the Treasury has funded content creators and other marketing organizations throughout the ecosystem to generate this content. And in order to be compensated, you have to have measurable KPIs. You have to have an impact on the community. But we incentivize our community members to produce compelling content to keep things fresh. And I think we're seeing the results of that in the narrative in the marketplace today.
Awesome. Talking about social and the content strategy approach, where do you feel with Polkadot, they're kind of doing it different in terms of social media, building awareness and engagement for Polkadot? You know, are there certain platforms or types that you guys feel that is best for Polkadot, or do you feel a format maybe works best across all the platforms?
So, first of all, you need to be aware of something called the Kusamarian if you are not already. The Kusamarian is an internal media company funded by the Polkadot Treasury, and they have been around for a number of years, and they really produce incredible content of anything that's happening within the Polkadot ecosystem. They are not the only platform inside the community. There are other community creators out there that I mentioned previously, but the Kusamarian does some amazing work. Now, they primarily interact on YouTube. We have moved into social media. We have an entire social media board that curates a lot of the work that we do, but we're active on Telegram, we're active on Instagram, we're active on X. X is probably the most popular program right now, but we moved on to TikTok. We're always experimenting with different social media platforms. We cannot be everywhere, but we're always testing everywhere to see what produces the best results for us.
Awesome. When we're looking obviously at collabs and partnerships, I think that's really important in the crypto space and really an undertapped market in my opinion. But we've seen Polkadot collaborate with a lot of different ranges and voices and platforms. What do you look for in a good platform like collaboration or marketing opportunity for Polkadot?
For me, it boils down to a basic, solid business arrangement where not only it has to benefit both parties. It has to benefit Polkadot. It has to benefit for the other party that we're working with. And so, yes, we are super lucky to have amazing partners that we work with all over the globe for these kinds of collaborations. And as long as it works for both sides, I'm happy to do that all day long.
Polkadot's very often present, obviously, at crypto events and conferences. What kind of impact do you feel that in-person experience differs from maybe some of the other community events?
So conferences like Consensus Today give us the opportunity to engage with all of the different types of attendees that come up to the booth. So I get to meet with VCs, I get to meet with developers, I get to meet with prospective enterprise or government prospects. And it's the makeup of the people here. We also have the opportunity to be on stage and tell our story on different panels throughout the day. So there's multiple ways that we can get our messaging across. But just like my meetups that I do in Miami, Florida, anytime I have a chance for an in-person meeting, I think that human connection really makes all the difference because you feel the passion, you really can understand what the other person is looking for, and it just produces a better outcome.
Absolutely. You nailed it. Absolutely. When you're measuring impact, in your opinion, kind of what do you feel like as a marketing leader within Polkadot, how do you measure that success? It's really hard to measure KPIs and ROIs with marketing, especially in crypto. So what do you feel like is a successful sort of endeavor? Or do you have maybe some non-ROIs that you look at in terms of an important side of it?
So as a former chief marketing officer prior to entering blockchain, I would argue with you a little bit on what is traceable and trackable with KPIs, particularly in the world of technology that we live in. Having said that, I agree with you. There are some sort of general esoteric things that are intangible. However, at the end of the day, it's got to be transactions and wallet activations within the Polkadot community. There's 100 other things that we can do, and that informs ultimately when a potential customer may convert and become active on our program. But really, when I'm doing biz dev work or marketing work, I have to tie it to some sort of technology integration activation that I can measure in black and white numbers.
Yeah, I knew that discussion was going to sort of like trigger it. I do feel like the same. It's really hard to measure like ROIs on some of the things, but there is some intangible like big takeaways that you can get.
It's the warm and fuzzies. I need the warm and fuzzy in order for someone to consider migrating onto my platform.
Yeah, that good way to put it, right? Okay, so talking a little bit about challenges. Obviously, every brand faces challenges, and in crypto, like we are pushing the industry forward in terms of Web3, and challenges in Web2 are pretty evident, but sometimes they come out of nowhere in obviously Web3. Have you found what's a challenge, within marketing, and how have you worked through it specifically, and what sort of takeaways maybe for those viewers watching can they learn from it?
I think for me, it's all about the narrative that's happening in whatever audience you happen to be talking about at a moment. Polkadot has incredible technology, the best technology, in my opinion, in the world of blockchain and Web3 today. But we were founded and we are heavily reliant and built upon nerds. Really, really smart nerds have built amazing technology, but nerds might not be the best marketers in the whole world. And so I think historically we came out of the gate with a really strong product, but maybe not the best marketing strategy or marketing message. And I think you've seen that shift over the years. I'm really happy with where we're landing now and where we're moving towards. And I think that I get confirmation that we're doing the right thing when I hear the stories in the general narrative out there in the world that more people are talking about Polkadot now, and more people are interested in Polkadot now, and so that tells me we're on the right path.
That's why I'm here having a conversation with you, actually. So when we're talking about looking ahead, where do you see as like an exciting sort of roadmap, if you can share about sort of a chapter with Polkadot and their marketing. Is there anything in terms of sort of some fun ideas or maybe some alpha that you can share that's in the pipelines?
I think it all revolves around the technology, and so we have a very clear technology roadmap that we publish online and talk about openly in the community. So we've had a tremendous number of exciting technology developments that have already gone live this year in 2025. We have more that are coming in the next 2 quarters, and then in 2026 we're going to have Jam come to life as well. So we don't have enough time for me to explain what Jam is right now, but it's a really exciting development that I look forward to sharing more with you on later. And then from a marketing perspective, like I said, we're always dabbling and trying new and interesting things. We have an ambassador fellowship that works really hard to spread the marketing brand through our network of ambassadors around the world. We always try to do a bunch of different types of meetups and styles of activities. And we just had a really amazing week recently in Miami. It was Miami Music Week. We combined that with Polkadot Mega Week. We ended up doing 14 events over 5 days, but all different types of events. And the point is to get people in the world. You want to meet people where they are. Like, I want to pull them in, but I also want to meet them where they're participating. So, so just look up any local community, any event that's happening. Hopefully you're going to see a lot of fun things coming soon.
And stay tuned for Jam.
Absolutely stay tuned for Jam. That's a big one.
So one last thing for you, either this camera or this camera, you've got the avenue. Share anything that you want, whether it be any beneficial thing for marketing or what you've learned or any takeaways that anyone viewing this can learn from.
I think what I've learned, you look at our tagline we use, I think in the event today, it's defy what's possible. And you have the freedom to do virtually anything in the world of Polkadot. And that's one reason that resonates really, really strongly with me. It's, again, back to the ethos of Web3. But I think the overarching message is, again, because I'm based in Miami, I'm incredibly proud of the community that we have grown and built in Miami. It's an extremely exciting city from a blockchain perspective. And I invite anybody out there to come visit us in Miami. Let us show you what we've built. Participate in the Polkadot ecosystem, and you'll get a little taste of what you can find in any major metropolitan city around the world.
I can definitely share from experience. Miami is very much like a crypto hub in North America. So that's amazing. Thank you for your time, James.
Thank you very much.